Y'all, this is my recent purchase, Aglaonema. I am over the moon. And speaking of name, her name is Aglaonema Moonstone Miles. This was a recent purchase I just got a few days ago, and so she makes my 30th Aglaonema. My goodness, absolutely no regrets. Look at the patterning on her leaves. She has these new growth points. And this leaf right here is unfurling. Look at her beautiful baby pink stems. She is gorgeous, and I'm so happy to add her to my collection. And so in honor of my new Aglaonema, I did a short compilation last month on all 29 variety Aglaonemas, on their care, their watering, their lighting, how long I've had it, all that good stuff. And so I compiled it into this one video. So if you want to look up specific care for a certain Aglaonema, at least out of the 29 varieties that you might have, then you can go there for reference. So feel free to leave comments on how many Aglaonemas you have and what is your favorite. Here is the Aglaonema Silver Princess. This was actually a Walmart find. Can you believe it? And what I love about her is that she has the outline of the pink veining or pink variegation, whatever you want to call it. Absolutely beautiful. Her stems are a beautiful baby pink. And she has consistently bloomed for me. I've been having her since about maybe March or April this year. She lives in the plant jungle corner area. She receives north facing window light, and she also receives indirect light from my Soltech light. As far as watering, honestly, I let her completely dry out. I water her maybe once a month or so, and she loves it. This is my Aglaonema Golden Papaya. I have two of these I purchased at the same time. The other one is in my bedroom, and this one is under my Soltech light. And she also receives north-facing window light as well. And just look at her. So this one, she does have more green variegation, but the inside of the leaf, the veinings on it, is that pretty, not even hot pink, but that pretty prominent pink. Matches my nails. And look at just the variegation. That's why I love Aglaonemas. These leaves have more of the deep pink, while this one, it's a lighter green, and it has more of the soft pink in the veining. And I water her once every 2 weeks or so, and she's loving life. Here is my little baby, my cute pink hybrid Aglaonema. That's what it was sold to me as. It was my first time propagating from her. I just did by node cutting. This is where she came from. This is Mama. She has been through it. She's actually one of my first Aglaonemas that I purchased back in 21, and she has lost a lot of leaves, but she is growing beautifully ever since then. She used to stay directly under my Soltech light. However, now she's a little bit further down, but she still receives light from the Soltech and also north facing window light. And I don't give her any special care, even though she is the vibrant, gorgeous pink reddish Aglaonema with the slight green outer variegation. I actually let her completely dry out before all waterings, and she likes it. And this is my Aglaonema Cutlass. When they get yellow leaves, these you can just safely, gently peel them off, and they're good. I purchased this one from Callaway's, a plant shop, and she has, or is, thriving. And this beauty has the dual tone green variegation and green stems. No pink on her, but she is still gorgeous. As you see, she is so big, and she actually receives indirect north-facing window light, and she loves it. I water her a little bit more frequently than some of my other Aglaonemas. I found out the hard way she does not like to dry out completely. So I water her once every week and a half or 2 weeks. Here is the Aglaonema White Margin, and this is actually a baby from the mother plant. Here is Mama. She's so big, and she did lose quite a few leaves, even though she does look humongous still. Honestly, I don't know what it was. I think it was mites. It wasn't mealybugs. She did go through a little whole issue, but she's doing much better. She's overcame it, and she has new growth. And this one lives in my bedroom. She gets north-facing window. She's about 2 feet away from the window, but she's on the side of the window. That's the only light she receives, and I water her once a month. I let her completely dry out. I love just the white outline of her. She's so beautiful, which makes her even more pretty. This is my Aglaonema White Joy, and she is a white variegated Aglaonema, absolutely beautiful. This is my only white variegated Aglaonema. There are more, but I don't have many. The other one that has white variegation, it has more of the green speckling, where this is just full white leaves with a little bit of the green speckling aside from the baby leaves when it gets more mature. And she actually needs watering right now. She's a little bit dry, but I do water her every week and a half, almost 2 weeks or so. And she receives north-facing window light. She's about 10-12 feet away on the ground as of now because she's by the Aglaonema tower, and she's doing really well and she loves it there. This is my beautiful Aglaonema Siam. I got this from Home Depot back in August, and just look how humongous she is. She is beautiful, and I have 3 different other Siams too, and a Siam Ruby, which is slightly different, but you can never have too many. And she's bloomed for me as well, and I love her so much. As far as lighting goes, she gets all north-facing window light, and she's about, I don't know, maybe 10 feet away from the window. And as far as watering go, I do water her whenever she's completely dry, but I will start watering her more frequently since it is getting colder and the heat will be blasting. Here is my Aglaonema Red King, and I am still speechless because this is absolutely beautiful. Similar to the hot pink hybrid Aglaonema that I have. It's more red, but it still has the pink undertones to it. And the more baby leaves, it has more of the green variegation, but as it gets more mature, the green variegation gets becomes less, and the red becomes more prominent and obsessed. So she's receiving direct artificial light as of now. I have her right up under the light, and I've watered her actually once a week now. She does seem to dry out a little bit faster, but I did put her in a super fast draining soil, but so far so good. Here is the beautiful Aglaonema Pink Aurora. So this is similar to the white margin, just in regards that it has the outline variegation, but this is the soft pink instead of the white. And she lives on the Aglaonema tower, and she receives indirect north-facing window lighting. She's about maybe 10 to 12 feet away, and I water her. Honestly, I've been letting her dry out, but I would recommend watering them every once a week and a half or 2. So don't do what I do, but she's actually beautiful, and I actually split her. The other baby is on the plant wall. This is the Aglaonema Night Sparkle. She is in this beautiful black iridescent pot. If you know me, follow me in my collection, I usually have white or gold, but it's just so fitting for her. So I've been having her for a few months now. I water her actually weekly, and it's actually time to repot her. Look at those roots. So I will be repotting her soon, and her variegation, it has like iridescent-ish on her leaves, which is also why I put her in the iridescent pot. She has both the green and pink speckling on her leaves, and I have her directly under a grow light, and she's thriving and she's loving it. This little cute baby almost died on me, but she's alive. This is the Aglaonema Cherry, and she's supposed to have beautiful red leaves, almost like the Aglaonema Red King. I don't know what happened, but I saved her, and I'm just going to be patient and wait for her to grow. I currently keep her moist. I do not let her dry out, and she lives right on the north facing windowsill. So she gets that light, and she gets indirect light from the Soltec light. So hoping she will bounce back, but this is the Aglaonema Cherry. She's so small. She used to be big. This is one of my first Aglaonemas I purchased in 2021. And she used to be big and full. However, it was 2021. I didn't know what I was doing, and so I paid the consequences, but she's alive and she has new growth. She's alive, that's all that matters. And just look at her coloring. Absolutely beautiful. And I water her more on the frequent side now. I water her at least once every week and a half to 2 weeks, and she receives north face window. She's about 10 to 12 feet away. All these Aglaonemas on the Aglaonema tower, 10 12 feet away from north facing window. That's all the light they receive, but they love it. They're thriving and they're doing good. This is the Aglaonema Tigress. She is my only Aglaonema that is living in LECA. I transferred her in the first place because she was rotting, and so I completely cut her up by stems, by node propagation. I rooted her in water it took her almost a month to actually root, but then she finally rooted, and once she had some solid water roots, I went ahead and put her in LECA. And you can see she has nice, healthy, long green roots. She's been doing good. I actually gave a few pieces away to a family member. I let her water reservoir go down quite a bit. You shouldn't, don't do as I say, but she's been doing fine, and she receives very low lighting. She lives on my my IKEA shelf with all my water propagations, and she just gets the north facing window light from my plant room. This beauty is the Aglaonema Hybrid Wishes. I got her from a local plant nursery in Dallas, Texas, about beginning of this year actually, and she's thriving, living her best life. I let her dry out completely. She needs watering now, but I let her dry out completely. I water her once every 3-ish weeks. I've noticed the more of my bigger Aglaonemas, I let them dry out more, but my more smaller Aglaonemas, I water them more often. The bigger the Aglaonemas are, for me personally, in my home environment, they do fine with less waterings. And she also receives the same light, north facing window light, about 10 12 feet away, almost like on the closer to the ground area, but she's love it and she's doing very well. This is my Aglaonema Lady Valentine. This is my Aglaonema Lady Valentine. She is also original Aglaonema. I've been having her since 2021, and now that I'm going through all of my Aglaonemas individually, I'm realizing I loved Aglaonemas from the start of my plant collection journey, and I can't stop buying them. And she has the pretty soft baby pink freckling in the middle with the green outer variegation. And I let her dry out, and she receives north facing window light about 10-12 feet away. And she lives with her sisters on the Aglaonema tower, and she's doing very well. And she's also have grown real mature stems too. I've been thinking of propagating her, but I always get nervous whenever I think of it, so I don't know, but she's loving life. This is the Aglaonema Siam Ruby. This is extremely very close and similar to the Aglaonema Siam, but she has more red inner variegation, like just a little bit more. Very similar, but there are a lot of Aglaonema varieties that are really similar, just very slight differences. But this is the Ruby, and this was a Home Depot find. And as you see, she does have the pink outline of the leaves, but then also the freckled pink variegation on some of the leaves too. Oh, so pretty. And just look at that shine. And her stems are the soft white, sometimes pinkish depending on how you're looking at it. I water her once every 2 weeks or so, and she receives natural light from a north facing window in my plant room. Here is the Aglaonema Suzanne Sapphire. She is very similar to the Aglaonema Pink Aurora. The Pink Aurora has the light pink outer variegation lining the leaves, but this has more of a prominent pink, I don't know, but like a deeper pink on the outline of the leaves. All of this is new growth. Her bigger leaves had just completely died off. She was infested with something, I don't know what, but she's doing good as she's bouncing back. So that's all that matters. And she has very light soft pink stems on her, and I let her dry out a little bit more. I water her once every 2 to 2.5 weeks, and she receives north facing window 10 to 12 feet away. What's your name? Aglaonema. Oh, she's heavy. This is the Aglaonema Red Emerald. I purchased her from Facebook for only $20 about over a year ago, and I'm obsessed, and I say that a lot, but I am. So she's very beautiful. She has been in multiple different lighting conditions. She's been in far away from a north facing window, and currently she lives under the Soltec light. And I also had her where it's very limited lighting, artificial and natural light from the windows, and she does fine. And I actually repotted her as well the beginning of this year because she had something going on with her, but she's doing much better since then. I water her once a month. I let her completely dry out, and she does fine with it. And yeah, this is a new baby a few days ago. This is the Aglaonema Mystic Silver. So beautiful. I don't know where I'm going to put her yet, if I'm going to put her in the plant room or my bedroom, but I'm just going to clean up these yellow leaves, and I'm going to just spray her down, especially the top of the soil. I don't want any bugs. And she's going to live her best life with her other Aglaonema sisters. This is the Aglaonema Prestige Pink. So beautiful. I actually just transferred her to Pawn a few days ago or so, and this was an import from Tropicals from Ecuador, and she came in sphagnum moss. Yeah, nice juicy roots. I just transferred her to Pawn. This is my only Aglaonema in Pawn, and she's similar to the hybrid Wishes, but these leaves are more oblong shaped. The leaves are so big. Most Aglaonemas have the long, slender like leaves, but these have more oblong shaped leaves. I'm obsessed with her, and she has a new growth, and I've been keeping the water reservoir below the roots, like about right there. I am keeping her under my Soltec light, and she loves it. Definitely one of my most unique Aglaonemas. This is a very recent purchase. I've only had her for over almost 2 weeks now. This is the Aglaonema Spathonema. Don't know how to pronounce that, but I fell obsessed with her because of her leaves. They are completely different than your typical Aglaonema leaves, and they have tiny tips at the leaf. And then look at the inner variegation with the light green variegation. So pretty. And there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different plants in here. I may eventually split her up. Currently, I have her under the Soltech light, and she also receives a north-facing window. And I have watered her only once, but for her, since she is in a smaller pot, I will water her once every 1.5 to 2 weeks. And I love how it's just more upright than your other Aglaonemas, which are more long and floppy. This is the Aglaonema Snow, and I purchased her a couple of months ago from a local nursery in Dallas, and she was about 40 bucks, but look how big and full she is. Completely worth it. And this one, surprisingly enough, the soil that it came in, it's not that typical like peat moss soil-ish, but it's actually in a chunky soil mix, so I've been having to water her more frequently than my other Aglaonemas, because my other big Aglaonemas, I water them like once a month, but baby girl, I have to water her like once every 1.5 weeks, and maybe 2. It could be because of white variegation, I don't know, but that's her current water scheduling for now. And she lives in my bedroom on the side of a north-facing window, and she loves it there, and I love her so much. This is my beautiful Aglaonema Rosie. She lives up high with her sister, the Red Cochin, under the Soltech light with indirect light from the north-facing window. And she is blooming for me. I personally cut them off, but this is her 3rd time blooming for me. I water her. She needs watering now, and I can tell because she's a little bit, well, she's drooping. But I water her once a month, honestly. And she's nearly over doubled in growth since like I've had her. So we're good on our watering schedule and lighting and everything. And she is similar to the Aglaonema Cherry and the Aglaonema hybrid pink, but she has the outside green freckle variegation, which makes her even more beautiful. This is my beautiful Aglaonema Red Cochin. Obsessed. This is a recent purchase as of almost 3 weeks ago, and just look at her leaves. There's no explaining for her like at all, because this color, pinkish red, hence the name Red Cochin. I got her the same time that I purchased my Aglaonema Red King, and she lives in royalty up high under the Soltech light, so she can get all the bright artificial lighting that she needs, and plus indirect light from the north-facing window. So she's loving life right now. I've only had to water her once since I got her a couple weeks ago, so I'll probably keep that watering schedule up. And she's doing fine. She loves it. I actually purchased 2 babies, but I potted it together so I can have a nice, beautiful, full pot, and I can't wait for her to grow big and strong like her Aglaonema sisters. This is my beautiful Aglaonema No I.D. I've had her since she was in, I think it was like a 3-inch pot. And now baby has upgraded to a 5-inch pot, and she is absolutely beautiful. She has the beautiful blush pink inner variegation, and the younger leaves have the more green outer variegation. I water her once every 1.5 to 2 weeks. I don't let her dry out completely, and she lives in my bedroom on my black shelf and is living her best life. Now this Aglaonema is my very sad Golden Bay Aglaonema. She has been through some things, but she's bouncing back, and she lives right next to my Aglaonema Madonna, which receives indirect artificial lighting in a corner. And I water her once every 3 weeks or so. I do let her dry out, but not bone dry. This is my Aglaonema Golden Madonna. She is an OG. She is one of my first Aglaonema. Actually, I think she is the very first Aglaonema. She's the one who started it all. I purchased her back in, it was like November, December 2020 from stayingalivesucculents.com. My plant website I've been ordering ever since then for over 3 years now. Always the beautiful selections of Aglaonemas. And yes, baby girl has been with me. And now she's in a 6-inch pot. And as of now, I've moved her. She lives in a corner and she receives very indirect light from an artificial light. And she's doing extremely well there. Look. This is my Aglaonema BJ. And this was actually a cutting from a bigger plant almost, I don't know, it's been a while ago. The bigger plant was infested with mealybugs, but I was able to save her. So I'm very happy about that. And she currently lives in the media room. I water her once every month. Honestly, she's almost on the same schedule as my snake plants, which is like whenever I remember, or I'm like, oh, I haven't watered you in a very long time. She's in this beautiful gold pot living her best life, and she receives only artificial lighting in the media room, which is a Haas bright light, and she does fine in it. This is my beautiful Aglaonema Silver Bay. This is an Aglaonema you'll typically see in big box stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware. I've even seen this in IKEA. It's very, in my opinion, a popular one. Well, I'm based in Texas, so I do see this one a lot. And if you don't have any Aglaonemas, I highly suggest getting this one because even though the pink Aglaonemas are gorgeous, this one is just as beautiful and so easy to care for. She lives with only artificial lighting in my media room, which has no windows at all. And I water her really like once a month or so. She's another one where I completely let dry out and water her then, and she loves life.